Good morning, world. I am bringing this to you live from Louisiana. Part of us is bringing this to you live from New York, and then the other part is from Allen, Texas. This is your morning edition of Brain 10. My name is Franklin.
My name is Christian.
And my name is Aaron.
And this is the one of the last episodes of Brain 10 for 2016. And today's episode, we are going to talk about 10 things to look for when hiring a marketing agency. And I will allow our usual run of lineup on how we do these things. Typically, it's not in the morning. And usually we are like a little bit closer in vicinity, but this is going to be a great episode, and I'll let Christian take us off.
All right, perfect. So 10 things to look when hiring a marketing agency. Number one is you want to make sure that they are results oriented, meaning that, for example, if they're about to build your website, you don't want them just to make you a pretty website. You want them to make you a website that will give you the results that you want. So if at the initial conversation that you have with them, they don't ask you things like, what are your goals for the website, or what are some functions that you want to have with the website, or those type of questions that are result oriented. If you're planning on getting more clients, then how are they going to do that? What things are they going to do on that website to get to those results? So you want to make sure that they are result oriented, not just with websites, but we're talking about marketing agency, but also with ads. So what type of goals do you have for those ads, and work from those goals, not just making things look pretty or making things look cool.
Absolutely. Unless for some reason they just want a cool looking website and they don't want anything, but that doesn't really happen where people spend a bunch of money to not have a website that performs well.
Exactly.
All right, so number two is they've done and have been successful in the past of what you're wanting to get completed. So if you want to have, like Christian, you will use the website example. If you want a website that's an e-commerce website, or a website that's specific for, say, a realtor or a lawyer, and they've never done a website like that, sometimes it falls into some lines of, could they handle it? And you've seen their work and you could trust them that way. But a lot of times you want to see an example of at least something similar where you've had success before just taking something on. Because if they've only ever done, one or two websites and it's been mediocre, then you really don't want to work with those people anyway. However, if you know that this is the best company in the world to create new logos, and they've had success in the past, that's exactly why you would choose this company. So basically search out the company for what your needs are, not only at that specific time for a specific need, but if this could be a partnership going forward and they've had success in areas that you want to explore.
Nice. Yes, this is true. Being able to track someone's success level in any form of fashion is, I guess you can say, it's paramount when hiring somebody. You see that in every industry across the board, especially like sports or anything that actually has to deliver a product or some type of results. You're not gonna draft somebody into the NFL if they didn't perform well in college, right?
Exactly.
All right, moving on to mine, and I have on my list, I said, how original are they? But basically that I guess you can say mine is that they have the ability to be original. You see a lot of agencies that do nothing but merely copy things that other agencies have done in the past, whether it be from the type of branding that they use, the style of branding, their you can narrow it down all the way to transitioning in videos or any type of advertisement that they do. And that is okay if that's your goal. But if you came, if you're hiring an agency for the specific purpose that they're going to be able to help you create a brand for yourself, and make you stand out from amongst the masses uh, of different companies inside your niche, you want to make sure that they have the ability to be original and that they're not going to carbon copy everything that they see and hope that it works for you, because what worked for someone else might not work for you.
Sorry, I was distracted a little bit. But yeah, absolutely. They need to be, they need to have their own niche or their own, yeah, they need to be original in their own element, in their own world.
Exactly.
Number 4 is that they are transparent. And I mean, it's very important from right off the bat, if you're working with one of these companies, to, have an honest and open relationship with them. And I think we do this very well with our, the one-on-ones that we do at the beginning. And then we actually have an actual meeting with them. And then, the fact that we're open and honest is that, we're telling them everything that we're going to do for them, the process, the people that are going to be involved. I think we do the kickoff meeting. And then in the kickoff meeting, we usually introduce everyone who's going to be working on that particular project. So anyone, if you have any questions or if you have any sort of communication issues, who to talk to before we even start any of the work. We're also, transparent about, the fees and the cost, and if there's any additional cost for, something extra or anything like that. So yeah, that's my number 4, is to be open, transparent, and have an honest relationship with the company and client.
Right. I think that is absolutely important, because if they go into it thinking they're only going to spend $1,000 and you tell them like, oh, it's $1,000 plus, we do this video for you every month, this is going to be another $800, they may have a little problem with that. Yeah. So they just sign on a dotted line. Most people don't read their contracts all the way. That should probably be one of our tips. I don't have that on here, but they don't read their contract all the way. So now they've just signed on to something. And if you're not necessarily a good person or a good company, they're legally, required to pay you that money. And that's just going to have a disgruntled person working for you and really just hurt your business. So transparency could not only hurt that client, but for the future too.
Exactly. Yeah, you always want to be able to have that ability to basically tell them like it is. Like, not saying tell them like it is, but basically be open and candid with them and hope that they receive it. That way that you guys can always completely be open and honest with each other. That between the client and the agency. And I think that actually runs into my next one. And it says that you could mesh well, meaning that you guys actually have a cohesive relationship with each other, and, or for lack of better words, not saying that you could actually sit down, have dinner or breakfast or coffee with this said person or your point of contact with the agency. Having a good and friendly relationship whenever it comes to, I think, me personally, any form of business makes it easy to work with each other. And whenever it comes to actually having a client and agency base, well, I think we've said it before. We actually want to get to the point where we are a part of each and every one of our clients' company, not for the sake of saying that, oh, we're a part of this company, but for the most part that we have a candid and family-oriented, family-like relationship with our clients. That way, that ability to be transparent, the ability to be honest, and have the actual, I guess you can say, the relationship to where you can come up with something original for that client, gives you the ability to do so when you have a great working relationship and personality with that person, with that client.
Yeah, and it's just, really simple. It's a lot more fun to work with somebody who's happens to be paying you, and you enjoy working for them and enjoy, talking to them.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
been a couple of people that, I dread just like even communicating back and forth with. And, we had those people on early on and still, I'd run into that before. But, going forward, that's going to be like just something that we focus on. Even as an agency, we're kind of hiring them, but it works both ways. But just, you got to make sure it works well for them. Even if we can deliver the best product in the world, but for some reason they just don't click with us, find somebody you're going to enjoy working with, because if it becomes a long-term relationship, it's not like you're just going to suddenly be like, oh, now I understand and now I like these people. It just doesn't work that way. So
Exactly. You don't ever want to like get into it with the person that's making your food. So why would you want to get into it or have a horrible relationship with anyone that you're working with on any side of, I guess you can say, any side of business?
yes. All right. And my next one is that they can clearly track the ROI. So however they track the ROI, it doesn't matter. Your phrase, Franklin. It doesn't matter how they track the ROI. Each company could be different, but just so they have real tangible results. I know for us, we use reports that kind of accumulate it all into one area or one spot, and then we can send a report that way. Some other people may just do like an actual breakdown of their specific service. So websites, this much traffic and these are the results, and they just take screenshots. They can do it that way, but just something that they could track their ROI with, and however they've done it, it's a proven track record that they've done it in the past, and they can show you the numbers. But I don't think specifics matter as much as just a way to actually track the ROI.
Right. I mean, the specifics, I think they matter as far as, you're providing that ROI.
Right. Yeah. Well, right. If it's just saying like, hey, we've worked with this many customers and they're happy, that's not nearly as important as, this many more people went to their website or this many more people purchased something like that. Yeah.
All right. So number 7 is they follow their own advice. And this is something that we've talked about even in our About video about practicing what we preach. And, when you're looking for an agency like this, you want to kind of do a little research. And I mean, if they're telling you that they're going to do all these things for your social media marketing efforts, then check their Facebook, check their Twitter, check their Instagram, and see if they are actually doing it too. See if they regularly update their website, see if they maintain their own blog, see if their About page is there. See if it looks trustworthy, if the website it's mobile friendly. Check their social media networks, make sure that they're complete, that they have an About section, that they're posting regularly, not just every 6 months. We see a lot of companies where they are a social media marketing company and they don't do any of these things, and it's just like, it's mind-blowing, because how are you going to sell something when you don't even do it yourself?
Right.
So we're very strong on that, and we make sure that everything that we tell people that to do, we actually are doing it ourselves.
Right. Well, and I think that a big part of that is not even necessarily just the posting, but like it's actually original content, not some kind of automated bot that's just pushing out the same articles over and over again on their Facebook page.
Exactly. They can actually see our faces when we do stuff, when we do things, and they know that it's us when we're doing it.
All right. And number 8 is they don't, or if they do outsource most of the work, are you comfortable with that? Or if they outsource part of it, find out up front, hey, am I hiring a marketing consultant to basically ship off this job and he just kind of has a little say in it? Because it's not necessarily that they can do the job cheaper, they can, but for the most part, that person, depending on who it is, like if it's a website, if they ship it over to another country to complete, there's not a lot that can happen, or you can see that from the customer to the representative to the person who lives in the other country, maybe maybe a language barrier. There's a problem with the customer, a possible problem with the client, and they want to switch this. Well, if the person in the other country doesn't know how to do it, or even somebody else in another state doesn't know how to do it, and they change the scope, it's now a long, convoluted process of trying to figure out how to fix it. So it's almost worth it to just hire somebody in-house that you can just have a one text or a one call or one email away from being able to fix the problem or fix the situation. So if they do outsource and you are okay with it, find out how much of it is outsourced and make sure that it's something that you're going to be tolerable of, and you could make sure that you're not going to expect something that couldn't happen or that could happen if it's in-house versus out of house. So basically all I'm saying is if they outsource, you need to be okay with it. If they don't, make sure that they tell you up front. So ask that question.
Yes. I think outsourcing is, for an agency that's supposed to be a graphic design and marketing agency, is kind of like an oxymoron, in my opinion, my personal opinion, because you can't say that you graphic design things and there's no actual graphic design in-house, and you're not doing it yourself. You can say that you're a marketing agency. That's fine if you hire out graphic designers to do the work for you, but that's just my personal opinion. But yes, completely understand and agree with everything that you said. And I think both of those two things actually lead into what I was saying. And my next one, which is number 9, is that you need to make sure that their reputation has truth to it, that there's truth to their actual reputation. If you go to their website and they have all these different like markups and logos on their website saying that they've worked with this person, this person, this person, do a little, I guess you can say, a little manual work on your own and actually reach out to those companies to see exactly that company did for that, the company that they have on their website saying that they work for them. See if there was a good ROI on actually investing in that company. See if the relationship that they had was a good relationship, if the customer service sucked, or if the designs sucked, or if they even got the designs or anything they asked for when working with that company. Just check, fact check. You don't ever want to just go off of the manually typed in reviews that are on these people's websites. Not all the time will they be actual true 5-star reviews. There might be some false advertising out there. So you just want to fact check and make sure that there's truth to those people's reputation.
Absolutely. I actually saw a written article the other day that Google is going to go out sometime in 2017, is going to be able to find out, I don't know how, if it's a spammed or if it's a fake 5-star review or 1-star review. They're going to be able to track and figure out that. Maybe by, I just created an account 10 minutes ago. I went and left a review and I left,
Right.
So at least they're going to do some more research on it and see if it's just like somebody just left a review and it was a 1-star, or somebody just left a review and it's 5-star and there's like no meat to it. I don't know. But that's what they said that they're going to do, which I think is cool. So even if they cut down on half of the spam, that would be good.
Yeah.
And I know that for us, before we got our largest website deal, they called around to like 2 or 3 of our clients and were like, hey, give us their numbers and their names, and I want to know where they're from and all of that, and said, okay, well, we're going to call these people. And then he didn't really say much after that, just like, hey, they had some good stuff to say about you, and obviously we're going to do work with you, but he didn't tell me what they asked or anything. They just like, we want to know people you've worked with.
Right. I mean, it only makes sense. It's not like you work for Bank of America or a larger corporation where there are laws in place that they can't call your previous employer and say, hey, so how good of an employee was Aaron? Or how good of an employee was Christian? They can't. Okay, so why did he leave? What did he do? They can't ask those questions legally. They can't. But in the situation that we're in. And it's a good thing and a bad thing for us, because like Christian said, we actually practice what we preach. We actually do the things that we are saying that we do, and we're completely transparent with every one of our clients. So we don't have any of that trouble. But for somebody else that is falsely advertising, saying that they do certain things, it might be an issue for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I mean, with the repetition, you see a lot of, or the reviews, you see a lot of people, you know, getting family members or best friends or college buddies, leaving all these 5-star reviews. And a lot of time not even writing anything, just a 5-star review with nothing, no context, no nothing.
Exactly.
And those are kind of fishy always. So, all right. So my number 10 and last one is they get you. So the actual agency gets your company. And what you want to make sure is that, you know, they're not getting, or they're not doing a cookie cutter approach to anything that they're going to do for you. And they actually give you, you know, an original proposal, something that they've drawn up from asking questions, from meeting with you, from knowing you, from knowing the ins and outs of your company, not just the surface. You want to make sure that they scratch a little bit deeper, and they understand your objective, your goals, your agenda, and make sure that, you know, everything that they're going to do aligns with your company, and all those things that I just mentioned. So when I say, yeah, they get you, it's, you want to make sure that, you know, they go a little bit more in depth than just those simple basic questions of, you know, how do you want your website, or what colors do you want? Like, you want to make sure that they understand the why on everything that you're telling them.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if it's not a good connection, the agency should know that as well. You know, and that's more focused on our side of it, but it shouldn't be about necessarily the dollars, but again, is this going to work long term? Because it takes a lot of time to just onboard a client, and then, you know, it works for 2 months and then they're gone. So it really did you no good.
Absolutely.
All right, my number 11, and this is my last one, is to make sure that they have at least one representative assigned to you. So you need to have a point of contact, and you need to have somebody who's going to be able to answer your questions, answer your problems. And the best way that we've seen is that an agency should have at least one person that they can reach out to and say, hey, I have an issue with this, I have a problem with this, and communicate that to the rest of the team, instead of today I'm going to talk to Christian about it, and then tomorrow I'm going to talk to Franklin about it. And then really my problem was with something that Aaron's doing, and he didn't even hear about it for 2 or 3 days, and Franklin and Christian forgot to tell me. So it's just a convoluted mess at that point if you don't have somebody. And it's a lot easier on the client where they say, oh, okay, I know I need to email Franklin. He's always the one who responds. He's always the person who texts me. Whether he gets an answer from Aaron or Christian doesn't matter, but at least he's that person that's representing me, and I feel comfortable knowing that I can at least reach out to him and get an answer back. And I think that's really important.
Yes. Goes and coincides with that ability to have a relationship with someone. That way that there's a tie there, and there's some type of, I guess you can say, a friendly relationship, or a consistent relationship with someone. That way you know that what you're trying to get done is going to get done, and when you need it to get done. There's no communication loss. Oh man. All right. So leading into my last and final one, and this is actually the last one of the day. And that is that they have a larger goal than just taking your money. You want to make sure that these people, or the agency that you're working at, has a larger goal and scope for what they're trying to do, whether that's to, if their goal is to make sure that they help certain amount of companies in a certain amount of time grow their business to an X number, or that they have like a foundation that majority of their work goes toward whenever they make money, their money goes to a foundation, or like basically that they have some other goal in mind as to why they want you as a client and why they are going to be extremely passionate about helping you reach your goal, because their goal is going to be met by helping you reach your goal. Just make sure that there's something there other than just getting your money quick and then not completing your task. That's one thing that I can definitely see, because a lot of times whenever people are just money hungry, they'll usually just take your check and just run. Just take your check, take your check, run, and you might not hear from them for a couple of weeks. Just make sure that they are, I guess you can say that their goal is to be better at what they do, not by being the best at getting money and having the largest financial portfolio whenever it comes to being able to take in X amount of clients and knowing that they've grossed in revenue this amount this month based off of how many clients they have, not by actual how many clients they've helped.
Yep.
And that is it, guys. If there isn't anything else, man, I just want to say on behalf of BitBranding, I hope that you all had a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And we're all scattered around, like I said at the beginning of the episode. But you two guys, like I think we texted each other and said Merry Christmas. I hope y'all had a happy and Merry Christmas, even though we didn't see each other. And I think that today's episode was pretty good. We didn't stay online too long. And again, I'm going to end this by saying my name is Franklin.
My name is Christian.
And my name is Aaron.
All right, guys, and have a great and fantastic rest of your Tuesday. Yep, I almost forgot what day of the week it was.
I know. All right. See you on Friday, possibly, maybe, hopefully.
Peace.